Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live, episode number 173. We're going to you live from two locations tonight. First, from World Scout Jamboree with Bill Stearns, NE4RD, and then the Youth DX Adventure in Caracao with Bryant, KVG5 HVO. And we're recorded live on Thursday, July 18th, 2019. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, coming to you now home again in Bloomington, Indiana, home from a great trip out to ARRL Teachers Institute. And if you missed all of that last week, Matt Severin, N8MS, Allie Flynn, KM3ALF, Chris Bickle, K1BIC, and a bunch of the other students from the ARRL Teachers Institute were on the show, and you can catch that over at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. And, of course, the rebroadcast is on WTWW each week, 5085, Saturday mornings at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So tonight we're going to talk to Bill and we're going to talk to Bryant and see how things are going in their remote setups. One in West Virginia, one in Caracao, but they're doing the same thing. They're setting up a station and getting on the air, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. So get those questions ready to go. If you're listening to us live on Thursday night, you can give us a call after we talk a little bit to each one by telephone, and I'll give you the phone number for that so you have it ready to go. We're not ready for your call just yet, but we will be soon. And it's 812-NET-HAM-1. That's 812-638-4261 if you want to call in, or you can tweet us anytime you want. It's at Ham Talk Live on Twitter. I'll be checking that throughout the night, but we'll have two call-in segments tonight, one for Bill and one for Bryant. So we'll be back to do that right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, honey, have you seen the PL259s anywhere?
No, I haven't. Come on, kids. Let's go. There's just one place to go for all of your connector needs.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. A giant warehouse of connectors and adapters for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And they have antennas, soldering supplies, cables, meters, and more. Where do you go if you want to buy a connector at a fraction of retail cost?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 solder-type PL259s, get the 10th one for just $1 penny. They make great Christmas presents. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a PL259?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Hi, I'm Scott Cole, KB9AMM, president of Tower Electronics. I like the company so much that I bought it.
Tower Electronics, coming to a Hamfest near you or online at pl-259.com. And we're in the yellow pages under Amateur Radio Connectors.
My, wherever did you get that lovely PL259?
Tower Electronics, pl-259.com or call 920-435-2973.
Do we sell PL259 connectors?
Your host, Neil Rapp, may be 2 radios short of a full ground system, but he's back now with more Ham Talk Live.
Thanks to Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show once again tonight. They help bring you Ham Talk Live each and every week. Their upcoming Hamfest schedule, August 4th, Berryville, Virginia, August 10th at Huntington, West Virginia, and August 17th and 18th, I'll be seeing them at Huntsville, Alabama, or you can visit anytime at pl-259.com. Bill Stearns, NE4RD, was here a couple of weeks ago with Jim Wilson, K5ND, to talk about the World Scout Jamboree, and you also hear Bill on the Linux and the Ham Shack podcast, as well as reporting on radio scouting on Amateur Radio Newsline. Well, Bill has made the journey from his home in Billings, Montana to Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia, and has been working hard to set up NA1WJ to get the Scouts on the air for their upcoming World Scout Jamboree, for the first time being hosted by a joint North American team. So, Bill, how are things in West Virginia tonight?
Ooh, it's hot. Very hot.
Yes.
No, it's going great. It's going great. We're just finishing day 3 here on the ground for at least the advanced team. We've made a lot of progress on the station. We have been obviously, some of you probably watched some of our live streams we've been doing on Facebook Live, just trying to show the progress inside the actual tent itself. We have a 40 by 40 tent where we're setting all the stations up, and today was pretty much the big progress day in there. We got the partitions in, we got the layout down, we got the station all hooked up. Yeah, it's been really great. Past couple of days here, we've been working on getting the antennas all put together. We had the 3 new antennas that were graciously donated by JK Antennas. We have a nice C3S for 15, 10, and 20. We got a nice rotatable 40-meter dipole that we're putting up on one of the other towers, and we have a new antenna that they made special for us, a 2017 combo Yagi that we're putting up on the 3rd tower. So we finally got all those assembled. We had Hector down XE2K, and he did an excellent job in assembling those antennas. And we did the final inspection this afternoon before he has to head off to take a flight out in the morning. So yeah, just a lot of activity going on, testing the rotors out, checking cables, extending cables. This is the first time we're actually lighting up all 3 towers for rotators. So this will be interesting. We don't have a single vertical out there this time. We decided the way they laid out the tents that there's too much foot traffic behind our tent, so we didn't want to have a huge radial field out there for people to trip on. So we had to basically put everything up in the air. So this is a little bit different than previous experiences, because we were able to control the tents that actually face all the antenna equipment. So we'd never have any egress on that side. So this has been a little bit of a challenge for the team, but the team is, we got a lot of excellent amateurs that are really stepping up and making all this happen for this activity.
Well, I've been following your trek out to West Virginia, and on the way, you thought maybe Hamvention was going on a little early. Yeah,
I didn't really pay attention to my route until I got into Indianapolis, and I'm like, this seems awfully familiar. And then, sure enough, it took me straight down 35 to cut the corner down through to Charleston, West Virginia. and drove right by Xenia. Like, oh, I've seen this road before. Must have made a wrong turn or something. But yeah, it was actually a nice drive. I don't think I've ever taken 35 all the way through there. So that was actually quite pleasant. Little stroll into the hills finally.
Now, was there anybody left in the flea market still trying to get out, or?
Yeah, there must have been some last minute deals over there.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but the numbers came out, and they say that the attendance this time was number 2 ever.
Record breaking. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, from a vendor perspective, being in Building 5, it seems a little high, but they have the tickets and they can count them. So that seems great. And I heard a lot of really good feedback from the vendors there too. That they record sales and everything else. So obviously there was something going on that maybe just didn't, trickle over our way directly. But that was pretty good news for them.
Yeah, I thought it was up just from walking around and looking at it and darting from forum to forum and venue to venue. It looked like it was up. So I can't say that I was too surprised with the numbers, but it was good to hear. Well, back to the World Scout Jamboree here. It sounds like you've been able to overcome a few obstacles. Had to get some last second parts and some last second things, but you said that you'd planned on being on the air by Friday, so that's in the morning. So are you ready to go?
Yeah, it looks like we are. We had to order some last minute parts, like I was talking to you off the air from DX Engineering. Get a few new masts for the towers. So, our towers are telephone poles, but yeah, so new masts for the new antennas, and we got those today, this afternoon. A little too late to actually put them up, but we got the bucket truck sitting over at our station right now, and they're ready to put it up first thing in the morning. So hopefully we'll be actually testing and everything else starting pretty early in the morning, and hopefully everything works. We have already started making contacts on satellite. I know for sure we had at least 2 contacts. I didn't talk to Mike before I left the tent, so I don't know if he was squeezing out a few more before he left.
Oh, okay. Are you
sorry?
There? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Just making sure. Skype's doing weird things tonight, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, it got really quiet all of a sudden. So
yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool, and I'll have to look for you on satellite too. And yeah, I was telling Bill before the show I slipped by DX Engineering on the way home. I guess I could have run by and grabbed those, but then I would have had to backtrack to get them to you. But
yeah, a little bit of a drive, but hey, they got them in overnight, so that was pretty impressive. And, we did send an email along to them and say, hey, can you make sure this stuff actually gets here tomorrow? And they're wonderful people at DX Engineering, and they really made sure it did happen. So we got everything that we were supposed to get.
Yeah, I couldn't resist when you're a few hundred feet away driving by it. You got to stop in and grab something. So I did. Well, if you have a question for Bill about the Scout setup, we've got him for a few more minutes here. Give us a call at 812-638-4261. We're only going to take questions for a few minutes because we're going to get to Bryant here in just a little bit. But if you want to talk to Bill about what's going on at World Scout Jamboree, give us a call right now, 812-NET-HAM1. 812-638-4261. So, yeah, the heat has been pretty bad in the entire Midwest. So how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, just staying hydrated, and that's what you got to do. I did want to also mention that we did finalize some dates and times for that ARIS contact. We did finally lock that in, and that is going to happen on the 27th. So it's going to be on Saturday, the 27th, July 27th, and it looks like it's going to be around 2:30 Eastern. So we're going to try to get that live streamed. It really depends on the venue we're at and how the bandwidth appears at the time. If not, we're definitely going to have a decent video because we're going to shoot it from about 6 different angles. So we have a good copy, and of course, all the other media partners here at the Jamboree are going to be there, and obviously broadcasting it and everything else. And I wouldn't doubt if the local news channel here also did it. It looks like to be about a 10-minute pass based upon the AOS and LOS. So should be pretty good for the Scouts. So that'll be the big one on the 27th, and it looks like our very first balloon is set to launch. Is it on the 20th? 20th and 20? I think it's on Monday. Was it Monday morning? Yeah. We just got that schedule because we're actually going to do 4 of those balloons. And I was thinking it was going to be an early balloon on Monday, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
We got 4 launches. They'll all be at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we'll be watching for those. Oh, well, say hello to Jim. And what's the SSID to look for on the balloons?
They'll all be tagged with NA1WJ. I don't know exactly. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the numbers on those.
Okay, good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Very good. And let's see. I've got an. Oh, okay. I'm getting a call on the cell phone from Bryant apparently. So I don't know if Skype's not cooperating here or what, but we'll take care of that here in a minute. If you have a question, give us a call, 812-638-4261. So let's take a minute here to remind listeners how they can participate, how they can get a hold of you now that you're going to be on the air starting tomorrow, full blast anyway. Remind people how they can do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we're going to be on the air as NA1WJ. We'll be doing testing, which basically means we'll be on the air starting tomorrow. And until the Scouts actually show up, we'll basically be pretty much open-ended testing. So you can pretty much call in and test propagation and everything else. But the Scouts show up on the 22nd. And we'll be getting Scouts on the air basically from the 22nd all the way through the 1st when they depart. So we're going to be operating the station pretty much from 8 to 5 p.m. with Scouts. And then after that, we'll probably run the station for another, 5 to 6 hours, depending upon activity. We'll have some guys dabble in some CW for the guys that want to work the station on CW, but they can find us there. Obviously we're going to have everything, out on social media. We've been doing a lot of Facebook Live. You can check the K2BSA's Facebook page. You can check out our Twitter at NA1WJ_scouting or at K2BSA_scouting. And that's where we're going to keep up most of the information. We'll also update the website at K2BSA.net with all the live information on the link there for the Jamboree-Live. And that's pretty much everything I have. We did have Jim just brought me over the schedule for the balloon launches. Looks like we have one scheduled for July 20th, 21st, 23rd, and 25th.
And actually, I think that's the 30th.
Oh, okay, that one's the 30th. Okay, so maybe he messed it up. So 21st, 23rd, 25th, and 30th, all at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we'll most likely also live stream those as well.
All right, very good. Well, thanks, Bill and Jim, for calling in and updating us on how things are going over at World Scout Jamboree, and we'll be listening for you on the air.
Great.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I think we've got it worked out here. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get Bryant on the phone here and the gang down in Caracao. But Bill, thanks a lot, and have a great time. All right. Well, we will hear from ICOM here, and then we'll get back and figure out what's going on with Skype. Something's going crazy here. So we'll get this all figured out during the break and come back with Bryant live from Caracao, the Youth DX Adventure, right after this word from ICOM right here on Ham Talk Live. Heard it, worked it, logged it. It's time to get the transceiver that is best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high performance and innovative products. Make the most of contest season with one of these ICOMs today. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent ones. The IC7610 is a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has RF direct sampling, 110 dB RMDR, independent dual receiver, and dual digicell. And the IC7300 is changing the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. With RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
Two antennas met on a roof, fell in love, and got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Thanks to ICOM America for help bringing Ham Talk Live to you each and every week, and they're the power behind the NA1SJ station. Be sure to check them out at icomamerica.com/amateur. And also, the power of the station down in Caracao. We've got Bryant on the phone here, KG5HVO. We got Skype to cooperate with us finally. So we have him on the phone along with Jack, KM4Z, and Audrey, KM4BUN, and they just finished up the Youth DX Adventure. They're still in Caracao, but finished up their operating today. So we go from West Virginia to Caracao. So, Bryant, how are things down there in Caracao?
Well, good evening, Neil. It's great to be with you on Ham Talk Live tonight. What I can say is the island is gorgeous. The beaches are absolutely beautiful. The antennas at PJ2T are magnificent. I can say that we felt loud on every band. And it's been a great week here on the island of Curacao. And again, it's great to be with you here on Ham Talk Live.
Well, I tell you what, if this keeps up, we're just going to make you a co-host of the show. we have you on here all the time for all these things, and I know you were able to again take advantage of this great trip, the Dave Kalter Youth DX Adventure down to Caracao. So you're the experience down there. So you've been helping out Jack and Audrey. I know I've seen some pictures, and I know you guys have done well. And I was able to work you yesterday and today. And I tell you this, Bryant, you know, that took some courage today. I saw that he was on 10 meter CW, and I'm like, okay, you know, I started out as a CW op because I had no choice, but I don't keep my CW skills up. I can do CW, you know, 9-10 words a minute, and I turn on 10 meters and I hear Bryant just, you know, I don't know what it was. It sounded like 30, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but he was just rattling it off, and I didn't have any help at all. I didn't have any paper. I didn't have anything. I was just going straight from the ears and gotcha on CW. So,
yes.
So we haven't worked on CW before, but now we have.
Yes, we have. You were very loud on 10 meters today. It was a very good sporadic E opening.
Yeah, I was amazed how clear you were coming in on 10, so that was great. And then I got, I believe it was Jack on phone on 15 today, and then I had you on 20 yesterday, I believe, and maybe Audrey on 17 yesterday. So you guys were doing very well up here. I didn't have much problem at all on all of those bands getting you. So I know you guys were trying to make a push to get a new record. You had 3 hours to go, and that's when I hopped on the rig and started adding some QSOs to your list there. So tell the world here, did you make it?
Yes, we did. This is Audrey, KM4BUN. And while it's not necessarily a competition, it's just when you get into amateur radio, especially as youth, it gets to be a little competitive. And so, yes, we did achieve more QSOs than the previous teams. But once again, it's not technically a competition, but it was a ton of fun. And we're so happy and we're so proud.
Well, I know some of those former team members were helping you beat that record, so that's like you said, it gets a little competitive, but we're all on the same team, and so it was great to hear about that. So, Audrey, I hear you have some good stories about some contacts that you made, so we want to hear those.
Absolutely. Well, today I was just working, the 40-meter pileup, and everything was going great. And every so often I get someone who asks me what we're doing and why we're down here, and I tell them about the YDXA adventure and everything. And I guess the word youth I don't think he heard it I don't think he heard it, but he was like, "Oh, okay, very cool. So you're down on the Curacao doing amateur radio and stuff. So you're retired down there, right?" And I was like, "Well, not really. I'm not at the ripe age of 15, I guess." But yeah, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. I'm sure Brian and Jack can tell you other interesting stories too.
Yeah, now if you're retired at 15 in Caracao, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And I know Bryant's mom, Lauren, has already been posting pictures poolside down there and enjoying ham radio because it took her to Caracao next to the pool. So, yeah, if you're retired at 15 and living in Caracao, you must be doing something right. Well, Jack, let's get your call sign here, too. I don't have it in my brain. KM4Z. Jack, you have any stories from your trip down there?
My call sign is actually Kilo Mike 4 Zulu India Alpha.
Oh, I cut it off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, my call sign is KM4ZIA.
Well, another busted call. Okay, I've got it here, KM4ZIA. So, any good stories? Any funny contacts you made?
Well, at the beach, we actually saw a bunch of pigs, actually. We even saw a pig actually eating out of someone's bag.
Wow. Now, it wasn't Hammy the pig, the Ham Talk Live mascot, was it?
She was friendly.
Who knows?
I didn't see any pictures of Hammy this trip. Now, the last trip we had some pictures of Hammy down there, but you had some pigs. Wow.
Unfortunately, we forgot to book him a plane ticket.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the way it goes. Well, Bryant, any stories from you on some funny things or unusual things that happened this trip?
Well, as far as unusual things, I could say yes, pigs at the beach are fairly uncommon. I'd never seen that before, especially just free roaming the beach, and nobody really seemed to care. We also saw a lot of wild iguanas and lots of other wildlife near the station. And there were a few wild goats that would just hang out in the middle of the road. I'd never seen that before. So Yeah, it was a lot of fun just working the world and getting to operate with Audrey and Jack was a real treat.
Well, if you have a question for these three, give us a call at 812-638-4261. It's 812-NET-HAM1. Now's the time to call if you would like to ask them about their journey down to Curacao to PJ2T. They were on the air with PJ2Y over the last few days, and they've wrapped everything up and coming home soon. We'll talk about that in a minute. So if you want to ask a question, now's the time to call, 812-638-4261, or you can tweet us over at Ham Talk Live, and we'll take your questions here for a few minutes. So, Bryant, this is your second trip down there. So how do you compare this trip to last time?
So I went on the YDXA adventure for the first time in 2017. It was with two other young hams, and we went to a station in Costa Rica and operated for a week. I'll just go through like some comparisons and differences and similarities between the two experiences. In 2017, we had two radios, some smaller antennas compared to PJ2T. Just your verticals and tri-band Yagi. One thing that really hurt us in Costa Rica was a thunderstorm that decided to camp out over us for 24 hours. That did not help propagation, and we had to keep radios disconnected. While here in 2019 on the YDXA adventure to Curacao, some things were different. We had 4 radios available. The PJ2T station is a highly engineered station designed for high-performance contesting from the Caribbean. So there are 4 radios that can operate on 4 different bands at the same time. There are plenty of large arrays of antennas, Yagis on 40 to 10 meters, beverages. We have an 80-meter dipole on the ridgetop, which really plays well. And one of the best things that really helps our signal is salt water. Salt water really gave us some good takeoff energy. Now, some similarities between, I think, all YDXA adventure groups are the teams are high caliber, energetic HF operators. It was, again, really awesome to work with Jack KM4ZIA and Audrey KM4BUN. And I just want to thank the YDXA leadership, Jim AB8YK and Don N6JRL for all the hard work that they do to prepare events like this for us youth. And I also want to thank our host, Uli DL8OBQ, Jack N4RV, and Jeff W0CG for allowing us to use the world-class PJ2T station. And personally, I would like to thank Bob Heil of Heil Sound and Ray Novak of ICOM America and the many sponsors and donors that continue to make trips like these possible for us youth hams.
All right, very good. Now, I have to ask you this because I always give Chris a hard time about this, KD8YVJ. So last time you had Chris's grilled cheese sandwiches. So how did the grilled cheese compare?
Well, we had some very interesting cuisine down here in Curacao. It was really good, especially we trying to think, what did we have? Jack, what was your favorite thing that you ate while on this trip here in Curacao?
Well, probably the best thing I had was the pasta carbonara that Bryant's mom made. And it was probably the most delicious pasta I ever had.
Wow, okay. Audrey?
I would have to agree with that. It was really good, especially in the midst of, all the pileups and stuff. It was great to, eat in between,
240 QSOs an hour.
Exactly.
Well, one of those was N0SSC because he just tweeted here and said he totally forgot YDXA was happening, and by happenstance, he just stumbled onto Bryant during lunch, and got in the shack to drill some CW, but Bryant, he said he was going at 30, so I was guessing about right. And he said, I think he tried to say hi, but it went over my head. So I was able to figure out the call sign and the 5NN, and so that's what got it for me. So maybe Sterling was in the same boat there, but Sterling said he was glad to get the QSOs down there.
Yes, I think we worked Sterling on 3 different bands in SSB and CW. But Neil, I also want to mention another sponsor that I forgot to mention, and that's Tim Duffy, K3LR of DX Engineering. Tim does a lot of great work with youth hams and was a really generous sponsor for this year's YDXA team.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Tim does a lot of good stuff, and we appreciate all the sponsors of these youth events like this one, and this is a really great one. And Sterling says, yep, same boat. I know 5NN and TU. So yeah, that's about what I stuck with, since I didn't even have paper. I was just like, yeah, okay, if I can get a call sign and get the report, we're good. So we got it. I don't think I was sending quite at 30, but well, we got it done anyway. So.
Yes,
well, that's great. That was great. Well, you guys have finished up your operating. What were your final numbers? And then when are you packing up and heading out?
Well, by the end of everything, we ended up with a total of 6,593 QSOs.
All right.
So we're really happy about that. And concerning when we're leaving, we are leaving actually tomorrow morning at dark 30.
Dark 30. That's what I was getting ready to say. Dark 30. Yeah. Well, I hope you've had a chance to enjoy some time and enjoy some time on the air as well down there. And thanks so much for calling in and letting us know how things are going. And do we have any news from Jim and the gang about maybe next year's plans?
Oh, yes, this is Jim, ABAYK. Neil, thanks for contacting them tonight and let them get on the air. Yes, we do have plans already in the mix for next year. We are looking at going back to Saba Island, and Jeff Jolie has penciled us in, and we're really moving forward and kind of got half the team already filled with a lot of people, and that's what our plan is, and hopefully we'll be P6JY next year. The Dutch Bureau is always really good at accommodating us because they understand that it's the youth, and then they really want to see our trips happen and be able to get recognition in their country.
Well, that sounds great, Jim. Thanks so much for all you do to put all this stuff on. And if people are interested in that trip or want to donate to help make that trip happen, tell them how they can do that.
Okay, we have our website is the best way to do it. The information's on there, and it's qsl.net/N6JRL. Don lets us use his call on QSL.net to be able to publicize that, and that's what we do. And they can send us money; we'll take it.
And traditionally, you've done the raffle at Dayton. I assume that's probably in the works again.
Yes, Dayton Hamvention is very generous to us and donates us booth space to help support it. That and the Dara Club are great supporters of us, and they allow us to have a raffle. And there again, that's Ray and everybody else helps by donating us something very worthy to raffle off, and that's how we raise our funds. That and the many generous contributions, and as always, anybody that contributes, we definitely put them on the QSL card. And we'll be having our beautiful double-sided, double-sized QSL card for this adventure in about 6 to 8 weeks or so.
All right, very good. Well, yeah, I wanted to ask about the QSLs, and I've got everything uploaded as well yesterday and today, so we'll be looking forward to seeing those. And anything else from the team here before we go?
Just let everybody know also that all the QSOs have been uploaded to Local Book of the World, QRZ, and Club Log, so you can check to see if you're in there or not, and if there's problems, you just send me a note, and we'll work on those.
Okay, very good. Anything else from any of the group?
I just want to say, again, thank you to all the sponsors and donors, and thank you to all the great operators out there that were able to work their way into our logs. And thanks to all those who spotted us and worked us. So, all right, 73 from Curacao.
All right, guys, have fun. Have a safe trip back, and thanks to all of you for chiming in. And Lauren, thanks for setting up the call and getting everything going tonight. And I hope you enjoyed the pool.
I'm sure she did.
All right. Well, thanks again. And that's going to be a wrap for another episode of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to Bill Stearns, NE4RD, out in hot West Virginia, and Bryant and Jack and Audrey and Jim and the whole gang down in Caracao for being on the show tonight, and everybody out there listening in cyberspace and typing in. And we invite you all back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, when Ruth Willett, KM4LAO, will be here to talk about being the most recent Hiram Percy Maxim Award winner and her satellite operations and more. And for a list of all of our upcoming guests, just visit hamtalklive.com. And if you like the show, please leave us a review on iTunes. That helps others find us faster. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.